All right, let's talk about one of the wildest charts on the market right now, Palisade Bio, ticker symbol PALI. Seriously, you're going to want to strap in for this one. It is a story of a complete collapse, an incredible explosion, and signals that are pointing in totally opposite directions. So let's just dive right in and try to make sense of this roller coaster. First up, the number that's got everybody's attention. A massive 134% gain. That's how much PALI has rocketed up from its lows back in early September. You see a number like that, and you just have to know what's going on.
But here's the thing, this was not a smooth ride up, not at all. The stock actually peaked way back in mid-July, then it just fell apart all through August, hitting rock bottom at just 56 cents. And then, bam, it just ignited, blasting all the way up to $1.31.
So the big question is, what in the world is fueling this incredible surge? To figure that out, we've got to look at the bull case, all the signals that are basically acting like pure rocket fuel for this stock. Okay, first off, just look at the volume. The sheer number of shares being traded is just mind-blowing. On an average day, we're talking about 5 million shares. But during this recent surge, 167 million. That is more than 30 times the normal activity. That tells you a ton of people, especially retail traders, have piled into this thing.
And if you look at the technicals, man, they are screaming bullish. Let's break it down real simple. The ADX reading, that just means there's a very strong trend in place right now. The Arun oscillator is at a perfect 100. You can't get more bullish than that. And the MACD, another key indicator, suggests this upward momentum isn't slowing down. It's actually getting faster. So according to these signals, it is all systems go. And if you need one number to really capture the buying frenzy, this is it. This is the money flow index. It's on a scale from 0 to 100, and it basically measures buying pressure. PALI's reading is 99.54. It is almost physically impossible for the buying to be any more one-sided than this. It's just incredible. So with all this insane momentum, you might be thinking, wow, this is a sure thing. But hold on. This is where we have to ask the really crucial question. Is this rocket flying a little too high, a little too fast? And that brings us to the other side of the coin, the bear case. For every technical signal that's green, there's another one flashing bright, bright red. So now, let's take a look at the warning signs. The single biggest warning here is that the stock is what we call overbought, and all that means is the price has shot up so fast, so far, that a pullback isn't just a possibility, it's actually statistically likely. The key indicator for this is the RSI, and PALI's is at a really high 81.77. Now for context, anything over 70 is already considered way into that overbought danger zone. And this slide right here really paints the picture. The current price is way up at $1.31, right? But its recent average price, its trend line, is all the way down at around 69 cents. That's a gap of almost 90%. Think of it like a rubber band. You can stretch it, but at some point, it's got to snap back. And the warnings just keep coming. Other momentum gauges, like stochastics, are also deep in that overbought territory. The volatility reading is sky high, which means you should expect some absolutely wild price swings. And on top of all that, you have what's called asymmetric downside risk. In plain English, that means the stock has a lot more room to fall than it likely has to climb from here. The nearest price floor or support level is nearly a 24% drop away. So where does that leave us? You've got this epic battle going on. On one side, you have this absolutely incredible, undeniable momentum. But on the other, you have pretty much every technical warning light on the dashboard blinking red. So let's try to piece this all together into a final verdict. The analysis really boils this down to 3 potential paths forward. First, the bullish road. The hype continues, the volume stays high, and it pushes the price up toward the next ceiling at $1.50. Second, the bearish path. People start cashing in their profits, which triggers a fast drop back towards that dollar support level. Or third, the neutral scenario. The stock just chills out for a bit, trading sideways while all these extreme conditions cool down. But the analysis ends with this really stark warning, and it's one we need to pay attention to. It says the stock's current state makes it susceptible to violent momentum shifts and potential crashes. That's not a small risk. That's a core feature of what's happening right now. So that leaves us with the ultimate question, right? For a stock like PALI, after a run like this, one that's fueled by insane volume but is flashing every overbought signal in the book, are we looking at the absolute peak of the mountain, or is this just base camp for an even crazier climb? The data makes a compelling case for both, which is what makes this one of the most fascinating and riskiest stories on the market today.